Welcome everyone to 10 Bestest. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Today I want you to think about something. Are you a warrior in a garden or are you gardening in a war? And if you're curious what I mean by that, keep watching.
Yes, and I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of different science and memory articles. So check it out. Let's get into it.
My first cool sheet, I'm going to be talking about an article. And this article is based on a very lovely quote. The name of the article itself is 4 Signs That You May Be a Warrior in a Garden. The quote itself, it's the one that I just discovered, and it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. The origin of the quote, the exact origin is unknown, but I actually think that's okay because so often quotes are attributed to ideas that have been shared by so many different leaders and writers. In any case, this article reflects on the meanings within this quote, and it gives so much to reflect on. And I have read this article several times now, and each time I gain something new, which I always love about articles. So sometimes I'll even just read a small portion of it and then contemplate it. This quote is based on, although the original person isn't known, it's based on a Chinese story about the peaceful warrior, in which a young sword apprentice asks their master why, if they are striving to be inwardly calm and at peace, why do they even bother studying the ways of a warrior? And the apprentice asks, wouldn't it be more tranquil and serene to be a gardener and tend the plants? Tending the garden, the master replied, is relaxing and is a very nice pastime, but it does not prepare one for the inevitable battles of life. It is easy to be calm in a serene setting, but to be calm and serene when under attack is much more difficult. And so what the master then says is this quote, it is far better to be a warrior tending their garden rather than a gardener at war. So what the article then does, it expands in great depth at each of these signs that you are at the level of a warrior in a garden. So it goes into these in each step. I'll just quickly tell you all 4. 1 is you have defied your fear and gained clarity. 2, you have defied your clarity and gained power. 3, you've defied your power and gained wisdom. And 4th, you've defied your wisdom and gained cosmic humor. So again, wonderful article, highly recommend 4 signs that you may be a warrior in the garden.
Whoa, okay. So this is a little different because now I get to see your cool sheets before the show. We used to always do this blind, but I really only look at the title and then I copy and paste and move on. And so this is totally different than what I thought it might be.
Awesome.
I thought this was going to be some article about being a warrior gardener, like a literally in the garden warrior, because I think of like Ron Finley, the gangster gardener, or whatever he calls. So I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool. I like to garden, but I don't.
But instead it wasn't cool at all.
No, but it's just differently cool, which is great.
Right, totally metaphorically in the garden.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I have some questions about this. So there's one thing that I've heard about. I think it was from Tim Ferriss first, and he didn't make this up, but he talks about meditation. And when we meditate, we're in a quiet room, we're in a perfect situation and setting, and then we can meditate. We can concentrate on our breath or whatever we're supposed to be doing, depending on what kind of meditation you're. It's kind of like that, but that doesn't help you in the real world when things are whizzing by and cars are honking and exhaust and it's hot outside and things like this. And he's like, you should try to meditate in various environments too.
I totally agree.
So that reminded me kind of a lot about that as well, which I still don't practice that enough.
Exactly.
But I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is one of those, you wonder about the monks that are they're hermits essentially, and that is one way to reach enlightenment, but there's the other way that takes longer, but it takes more intention, and that is exactly that, meditating and trying to find that calmness, because real life we're around chaos.
Yeah,
that's just
all the time.
The way it is. So, yeah.
And I remember I did have someone that I was talking when I first got into meditation too, and I was like, I was meditating and I was doing so good until that train came by, and then they're like, that's going to happen. You should not stop your practice. You should persevere.
Right.
And I was like, that's smart.
Yes.
Smart advice.
Yes.
Because that will actually make you better. And what meditation is for, to keep your kind of calmness and peace in difficult situations. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That's really neat. All right, my first cool sheet. I thought I was going to be done. I've done 3 pocket collections now, but I had to do one more because this one stood out to me so much. And it is a pocket collection called The Strange Science of Memory. So this is by Alex Dallenberg, who I think just curated this list. Because again, these pocket collections are a series of articles. So he says our memories make us who we are, and as anything involved in the human brain, they're pretty complicated. These series of articles explore the mystery of the memory, and it has fascinating articles that break down how we form memories, why we forget so much of our childhood, and the profound impact that it has on our lives. So there's so many really good articles about this, and what I love about these collections is that it has a little bit of something for everybody. So you don't have to read every single one of these articles. You can just find which one maybe gravitates towards you. I know for me, memory is kind of a big thing. It's one of my actually biggest fears about getting old is losing my memory. I have now a grandparent who is going through memory loss, and it's so heartbreaking. And not even more so than getting old. I don't fear getting old, but losing my memory would be a big one for me. So I'm fascinated because what our brain does when we're thinking about something all the time is we want to know how do memories work? How does it, what is the science behind this? So there's so many good things about this. Some of these articles include, you'll probably forget what it was like to live through a pandemic, which was probably a good thing. There's just that you will forget some of this, but also why we forget things is very interesting. Total Recall, the people who never forget, is very interesting. The movie that doesn't exist, but the Redditors who think it does. So this talks about imagined memories. This happens a lot of the time where people, and I've had this happen, where a story, maybe it gets changed or embellished and you have this whole envision of something that never actually happened. There's so many more good articles about this. It's definitely worth checking out. This is the Pocket Collection of Memories.
False memories, indeed. I think I have a whole bunch of false memories.
Well, the thing is, a lot of us do. Probably everybody does. And just knowing the fact that more people do it and you're not some kind of weirdo makes me feel better for sure. So if you have those out there, you're not a weirdo. Or maybe you are in a different way like I am, and that's totally great. But it's not because you have fake memories, because that happens to, I think, everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
And I gotta say, I love having friends with memories better than mine. Or maybe it's that we all remember different things, because then when you're sharing stories, because I've had friends tell me things, I'm like, wow, I totally forgot that happened. I completely forgot.
And it's not like a blackout drug. Well, there's those, but they're not always that.
Right.
It's like just, or you'll have two different, I mean, it depends on where you are in your life and what's going on around that time period. Yeah, the story can change. And a lot of times we always think, oh, this person just embellishes or what happens. But a lot of the times it's just our brain will create and solidify different accounts of the same situation. It's super interesting. Anyway, so it's cool.
I love it. I'm just thinking about all the things I've forgotten in my life. It's so sad. But I do remember a lot. So I'm just go with that.
That's good. Yes.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'm definitely going to take a gander. There were a few in there that sounded really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I didn't even list them all because I ran out of time.
Right.
There's a ton of them, and they're all very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of 10 Bestest. I'm Karen McFarland Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
And let us know for my cool sheet about the 4 signs you may be a warrior in a garden. Which of those 4 are you working on?
That's great. And I want to know in the comments, what's your favorite memory hack? And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for 2 more cool sheets.
And please like and subscribe. It helps us so much.
That's right. And don't forget to stay curious.